The Electoral Commission firstly dented its image when it allowed leaders, powerful individuals in this country to roughshod over them, to order for the deletion of certain aspirants from the voters register. That is unprecedented. It has never happened in this country that somebody can order the Electoral Commission, now delete this one from the voters register. Everybody saw that. It was very alarming. Our candidate at the time for Bukedi, a woman MP, in the last election, she voted from where she was living, studying and so on, here in town. But she hails from Bukedi. Now when she does the transfer to Bukedi, her home area, they say, no, we don't know you from around here. And then they deleted her from the voters register without giving her a fair hearing. This is the Electoral Commission superintended over by a whole justice of the Court of Appeal. These things are shameful. Completely and also unacceptable. The least problematic as it could have been, the least that could have happened was for the EC to say, no, we have rejected your transfer. You stay in where you get it. Even that we would contest it. But it would be not as problematic as completely deleting someone from the voters register. Somebody is a qualified voter. Somebody who has been on the voters register all this while. And you say, for you, you don't deserve to be on the voters register. It's as if to say you are no longer a citizen. Very problematic. We have seen the complaints of some of these candidates and others elsewhere. The idea by the Electoral Commission that among the 10 seconders of a candidate, one person signed twice. Somebody with the same name and the same signature signed twice for a candidate. That's not possible. Because there are two gates, there are two gatekeepers. The first is where we took our documentation to the Electoral Commission, the various regional offices, for them to verify. Before nomination, that was gatekeeping number one. Gatekeeping number two is when we went for nomination. How is it that this was not detected at those two gates? That one person with the same name is signing twice. And we're talking about 10 signatures. We're not talking about hundreds or thousands of signatures. We're talking about just 10 signatures. So the EC is saying at those 2 points, it was not able to detect that the same name, the same person signed twice or thrice. So you bring it up now to denominate people. It's an excuse which does not make sense at all. So are you saying that as the Electoral Commission you are incompetent? Because it is you who has been managing this process from the verification to the nomination. And now you are coming up to say, we, the same Electoral Commission, we are denominating you. And those are some of the things that we are challenging, by the way, in court. Because it cannot be the same Electoral Commission which nominates somebody, and now that there is a query, it is the same Electoral Commission that sits to make a determination. How? Because if there is a complaint, somebody is complaining and saying, Electoral Commission, you wrongfully nominated somebody. How can it be the same Electoral Commission which is being challenged to sit in its own matter? It does not make sense at all. The people who change their minds apparently after they have signed for our candidates, you hear somebody say, no, for me, I did not sign for that person. And yet, it is your authentic signature and all of the details. But because they have approached you, bribed you, or intimidated you, now you come up and say, no, I didn't sign. But it is your details there. They are not questionable. Others have said, me, I thought I was signing on PDF forms. Are you kidding me? The forms were clear. It was clear what you were signing on. Because there is a whole heading with the details of what it is that you're signing against. So how do you say that you thought you were signing PDM forms? So now you are recalling your signature. That's not acceptable. And I don't know why the Electoral Commission allows for this. Because if somebody has given their signature in, how do you allow that I can change my mind? The same way people can cross from one political party to another. But now you're saying somebody can change their mind without you giving the candidate chance to get other seconders. Because if it were that, okay, somebody can change their mind, now I no longer support you, I recall my signature, then there should be room for somebody to get other seconders. But of course, we know that time does not allow for that. That means that when somebody has signed, it is finito. It should not be acceptable that they can recall their signature. Again, issues that we want to challenge. A candidate, there's been a famous candidate who is not even from our party, but we follow all these injustices. A candidate who resigned from civil service, was a police officer, and resigned over 550 days before nominations. The law says 90 days before nominations you should have resigned if you're a civil servant. This person did it over 1.5 years, way before. And now they are saying we are denominating you because apparently you did not attach your resignation document. So what if somebody within the EC plucked off that resignation document and now they are saying you did not attach it? But number two, even legally, how would you require that I prove I was once a civil servant? What if I was a civil servant 20 years ago and now showed up for nomination? What law requires that I must first show that I once served as a civil servant, now I am no longer a civil servant? Because this issue they are raising only comes up when there's a contestation. And then somebody can only prove that no, yes, I was a civil servant, but I resigned within the legally required time. But for you to say you did not attach this, so does everybody who once served as a civil servant have got to tell the Electoral Commission that, you know, by the way, I was once a civil servant 10, 20 years ago, but I resigned? That's not what the law says. So it is an excuse. If indeed this person had not resigned within the 90 days required by law, then the Electoral Commission would have a point. But this person did it 550 days way before that. And you're saying you did not attach it. How was it an issue at that point of being nominated? Again, it's because powerful people or spouses of powerful people, you know, by connection, by osmosis, they also think they become powerful and so they can roughshod over the Electoral Commission. All of these things have dented continuously the image of the Electoral Commission, and we are challenging them. The other issue of concern is the register. The SG has extensively talked about that. It does not make sense at all when you say, and I'm sure you all read the letter written by the Honorable Justice Simon Biabakama, saying, you see, this person here, these are two different people. The names are the same, the date of birth is the same, but they're different people. What are the odds that that can happen? Surely. And now we are seeing multiple entries in the voters register that are in like manner, that the date of birth is the same, the names are the same, they are from the same constituency, they are from the same village, but that they are different people. And he even says, I have pictures that, you know, show that these are different people, but I will not show you. Surely. And in some cases, the NIN, the National Identification Number, is similar, and many of these other details. It's a problem. And the EC should be happy that we have made these analyses and we're helping you to do your job, to scrutinize and clean up, instead of coming up to defend. Don't defend something that is not defendable.